Let's talk about down. Down is actually one of my most favorite behaviors, and it's not used as often as it should. So let's think about down as an off switch. Down is our switch to turn our dogs off. Sit is a gesture for what's next, or maybe for a pet, and down is to turn them off. It is a great behavior to teach and help your dog to learn to settle, to turn off when distractions are happening, but also when you can teach your dog to down in all different types of scenarios and distractions and people, and you're able to turn their minds off, then you're going to have the most success. So the one thing that I want you to focus on is thinking about down is our off button all the time. Here on the ranch, if my dogs get chasing the horses and they're getting ready to go and I can see them getting revved up, all I have to do is tell them to down, and they lay down and it turns them off. If they're barking at something, I can ask my dogs to lay down and it turns them off. And that's how I think, and that's how I work around a down. So again, most classic and most people know that if you put your dog, you treat at your dog's nose, and we take the treat from the nose to the ground, that their dog will lay down most of the time. The biggest mistake that happens is we teach our dog to sit, and then we build in down as the second step, when down is down and sit is sit. So I always teach a down from the dog in a standing position so that I don't have a dog that goes, and I'm just gonna sit instead of lay down, or a dog that lays down instead of sits when I ask them to. So please make sure, a little tip here, make sure your dog is standing. Treat goes from their nose towards their chest in a diagonal down between their toes. And then what I like to do is roll my hand. So I have the treat at their nose, I'm down and I roll my hand over, and it makes them kind of tuck in and drop into that down position. Now, if you want to see this, how it's done and how I teach it, you can head on over to dogtraining360.com, and I have an obedience course video that you can buy, or you can head on into our Lifetime platform that has all the videos in there of all different kinds of things from behavior modification. Actually, all the videos that you see that's up for sale are in our Lifetime platform for you. So down is our off button. Down is a way to shift our dog's mind into connecting with us, stopping motion. If our dog, and we're working on a come, and they don't come, you most likely can get a down if you train it down. So again, if you've watched our sit video, I'm gonna go through the same process. We're gonna use treats to teach. And then we're going to use, without the command, we're going to teach them that laying down gets a reward. The next step is I'm standing up, the dog lays down when they see the treat, and then the treat comes. From there, I'm going to ask the dog to down, and if they lay down, then they get food. If they lay down before I ask them, I'm going to praise, good down, that's a nice down. When I get to that point, and I can ask the dog to down, and they're laying down, and the treat becomes present, and rewards for the behavior, then my next step is flat buckle, regular collar, the one that you put their tags on, no corrective collar. When I ask my dog to down and they don't down, I just gently step on the leash. It applies pressure down and I just hold. And dogs learn in the release of pressure, and they will always seek the release of pressure. So if my pressure is down, their body will lay down to seek the release of pressure, and when they lay down, the pressure goes away, and dogs learn in the release of pressure. So if I step on the leash and I'm patient, sometimes it may take a minute or two. So you have to be patient through this process of teaching, and the dog lays down, then the pressure goes away. If I apply pressure, there's no food involved. If they lay down when I ask them, food is involved. Then I put my dog in all kinds of different situations that's natural and normal to me, not going out of my way to take them to a fire station, because I don't hang out at fire stations. So I'm not going to train my dog at the fire station, even though the firefighters love to see the dogs. It's don't go places that you're not going, but take your dog out and about. If it's to the park, then train there. If it's to coffee, train there. If it's home with company, train there. If it's in your backyard with distractions and kids playing, train there. And so I'm going to take this and transfer it to every place that I'm going to go. I'm going to train at soccer games. I'm going to train at football games. I'm going to go and have coffee with a friend, and I'm going to work on those things knowing that I want to be able to take my dog with me and have them behave and have manners everywhere that I go. And I want to be able to have an off switch for my dog. If I tell you to lay down, then I want you to turn off, and I just don't want you to worry about anything else that's going on. So you have to train in those scenarios. So let's get it down. Let's learn how to have that off switch for our dogs. And I promise you, it will be a lifesaver in a lot of different scenarios.